Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for coming to our session today. And welcome to National Careers Week 2021. And this is part of the Meet Your Future work shadowing campaign. I'm Sophie, and I'm part of the Bridge GM team, and I'm going to be hosting this session with you today. Meet Your Future was launched in April 2019 and was an easy way to enable young people to have conversations with employers whilst experiencing different workplaces. Over the past 12 months, we have been speaking with young people from all over Greater Manchester to find out how you have been feeling, how you feel you should be supported through the pandemic, your return to school, and then also your futures as well. We've been listening and we've learnt a lot, and we've developed a suite of information and resources and services that are here to help you. And this can be found on gmax.co.uk, our brand new website for young people in Greater Manchester. And you can also, on the website, speak to a member of the Bridge GM team via our chat function. So any questions you've got or any signposting that you need, the Bridge GM team can help you. We've also adapted our Meet Your Future work shadowing campaign to better fit what you've been telling us, which is part of what you're watching today. And over this week, you'll be able to join sessions and chat with Greater Manchester and national employers. And you'll also hear from notable people talking about their journey and how they ended up where they are today. So in this session, you're going to be hearing from Hannah and Caius, and they are both from OpenMoney. They're going to be talking about OpenMoney, what it's like to have a career in OpenMoney, and also some of the things that they do as in kind of general day-to-day, including money management and investments. So hopefully this week will inform you, inspire you, and show you why you should be hopeful and optimistic about the future in GM. Now, we do have a questions and answer box that's open and ready to go. So please do pop in your questions as the session goes on. I will be looking at these as we go along, and we'll be doing some questions at the very end, sorry. So please do make sure that you do pop them in, and I hope you have a fantastic session. So the next thing I'm going to do is introduce Hannah. So Hannah, can you please introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, good morning. My name's Hannah. I work for OpenMoney. I'm the support team lead, and I'm also one of the financial advisors here.
And Caius, you're about to go live. Can you introduce yourself, please?
Mute.
Oh, unmute, Caius.
Apologies. Classic. Good morning. My name is Caius. I'm OpenMoney's very first apprenticeship, starting at the age of 16 as a customer support specialist. I'll be talking more about my role, my journey later on in the presentation.
Thank you so much. And Hannah, are you okay to share your PowerPoint, please?
Yes, certainly. 1 second, let me just get it up for you guys. All right. All right, so here we are. So I'm just going to be explaining a bit more about OpenMoney and what we do, what's our mission and so on. We also touch upon our roles, and we also tell you guys a bit more about ourselves and how we ended up here in the financial industry. So to start off with, we launched in April 2017. Our offices are currently located in St. Peter's Square in Manchester city centre. And what we're aiming to do is to deliver financial advice to everyone that's both affordable and accessible. We do this via our online advice system, which we hope is easy to use for our customers. And we ask for a series of questions and then provide a recommendation. So what our main goal is really is to narrow what we call the advice gap. So we produce a report every year, and this report just identifies those individuals who would benefit from regulated financial advice but just are unable to afford it or can't get access to it. So it's essentially identifying those in bad financial situations are essentially those who need advice the most but can't get hold of it. So OpenMoney are attempting to close this gap by offering free financial help and advice. So that's actually the post task that I've set. So I definitely recommend giving that report a review to sort of get your mind around exactly why we think that there's a gap there and why we think it should be filled. So we're also expanding into mortgages. So in the summer we'll be launching a mortgage proposition for first-time buyers. We're also offering life insurance, and we currently have a platform called Work-Life Benefits. And that's available for employers who want to offer benefits to their employees at a cheap price. Now, how does OpenMoney work? So we're all about financial advice. And what is financial advice, you may be asking? So it's all about helping you to save, what to save in, where to invest in, what products to open, how to save on tax, how to avoid tax, financial planning for now and also towards retirement. So if someone wants to invest, they want to know what to invest in and what product is best for them. So you've got your Icers and you've got your pensions and that. So what we do is we ask our customers a series of questions and we recommend whether investing is even right for you. So investing is not right for everyone. They might not have the necessary emergency cash funds in place. And that's because if you need to get a new boiler or if you need to get a new car, we don't want you dipping into your investments at potentially a bad time. So we require our customers to have enough cash savings in place for an emergency. Some customers might not actually be comfortable with losing money. So with investing, obviously the money goes, you could lose, you can make gains, it's up and down constantly. So if a customer's not comfortable with seeing those fluctuations, then investing is probably not right for you. Also, if you're in too much debt, it's probably best that you pay off that debt first, because if you're paying quite a significant amount of interest on that, then there's no point investing if you're paying off debt. But if we do recommend investing, we recommend one of our investment risk portfolios and one of the products. And we also make sure that all the contributions are affordable. Sorry. So we currently offer free investment portfolios, and these are one of the portfolios that we recommend to our customers. We also have a money management app that is available for our customers where they can link external accounts and see all their transactions in one place. They can set goals, they can set budgets and saving goals and such. And the main thing we do is just we offer free financial advice. So all our customers have the opportunity to book an appointment with a qualified financial advisor. So this is essentially our slogan, is like, it doesn't matter how much you have, it could be £1 or up to £1 million. We want to create equal opportunities for everyone and everyone to have access to financial advice. So what is investing? So I wanted to touch upon what is investing because I think a lot of young people, especially probably in social media, have been seeing a lot around GameStop and Bitcoin and cryptocurrency and, you know, invest now and make millions. But I just kind of want to debunk those myths because investing is not risk-free. You could essentially lose all your money if you invest in certain assets. But what investing is that you're essentially placing in your money into an asset, and this asset can be property, it could be a commodity like gold, shares in a company like Amazon or Apple, and the value that you purchase these at can go up and down, which means you can make a loss or you can make a gain. So investment is not risk-free. Usually the higher the potential, the reward, the greater the risk. So to help you reduce that exposure, we tend to endorse a sort of don't put all your eggs in one basket approach, which is called diversification, where you can spread the risk, you know, invest in different assets in different regions, so you're not all in one pot. We also want our customers to consider, you know, do you have an emergency cash pot in place? Should you be paying off debts first? Can you remain invested for a minimum period of time? So that's enough about OpenMoney. I just wanted to talk a bit more about what we do, and most importantly, how do we find ourselves here at OpenMoney? I'm sure you can appreciate that not many people plan to have a career in the finance industry. But we'll start off with Caius, and he'll tell us a bit more about his journey.
Wonderful. I've unmuted this time. So my role at OpenMoney is customer support specialist. I deal with customer queries regarding our service and assistant issues customers may experience. I also do quite a bit of administrative work, so dealing with transfers and payments, etc. I work to try and ensure that the customer's journey is as pleasant as possible and the support they receive is exceptional. In regards to why I chose an apprenticeship, the reason I selected an apprenticeship over college was due to the way I learn. Though I was quite a gifted student in high school, I always struggled with things like homework. And with the apprenticeship route, I've been able to do most of my learning in work environment where my brain has been engaged and focused. Additionally, I really felt ready for the workplace and to start earning from as soon as I left high school. I was also quite confident in what I wanted to do with my career, in that I wanted to get into finance, the finance industry, and into financial advice. My business administration apprenticeship has led me on to do a mortgage advice qualification, which I'm currently working on. My apprenticeship has enabled me to gain, very valuable experience in work and in life. The skills I've accrued over the years and the confidence I've gained in putting them into practice each day has been invaluable. And the support I've had over the course of my apprenticeships has been great. The apprenticeship route has allowed me to continue with my professional development whilst earning a wage, also allowing me to become more independent as a young man in my personal life. If you could go to the next slide, please. So on to what I wish I knew when I was in high school. Firstly, I just wish I knew about the different structures that apprenticeships can have in terms of learning. For example, some apprenticeships may have their students have certain days in college, for example, at least one day in college, where they work on all the off-the-job learning, assessments, exams, and the curriculum work. For example, with my older brother, who was the pioneer in my family in going down the apprenticeship route. He did an engineering apprenticeship with which he'd go into college at least one day a week. Whereas with mine, I should do all of my work within the business, and then juniors would come in and visit me regularly to complete observations. So it's good to, just be well informed and on how the apprenticeship is going to be in the different types of learning. Because some may find it more appealing to go one day college, or some might find it more appealing to be in that work environment. For example, myself, I could focus more in that work environment. Also, just wish I had a better understanding of the levels of apprenticeships and what they were equivalent to, which leads me on to the next point. Looking back, would I change anything? The only thing I'd want to change is that I'd want to be able to start off with a level 3 apprenticeship, which is equivalent to an A-level qualification. With OpenMoney, I began on a level 2 apprenticeship, which I just didn't feel challenged me quite enough. So I wish I just started on that level 3 to get me a bit of a step forward. And yeah, that's me.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, so I'm also going to touch upon how I got here and what my journey was. So I'm now the support team lead and the financial advisor here at OpenMoney. So how I started off is that I grew up in London, aspiring to actually be a dentist. So I'm sure a lot of you young people, I think you did a bit of work experience, 5-day work experience at high school. I did mine at a dentist, even though I had no interest in dentistry from the start. But by the end of it, I was like, you know what? I think this is the industry I want to go in. So I decided to take all the sciences at sixth form, chemistry, biology, physics, and all that, because apparently that's what you need to do to get into dentistry. But it was definitely a big blow, because I didn't realise the step from GCSE to A-level was such a big jump. You really have to pay attention. But whilst I was in sixth form, I was also working at Greggs from the age of 16. Unfortunately, I didn't do too well in my A-levels at sixth form, so I actually ended up having to retake a year. And when I retook that year, I was like, where do I want to go? What do I want to do? And so I thought to myself, what do I enjoy at school? So the two subjects I did quite well at was business and also textiles. So I love being practical, but I also loved business. And I thought to myself, there's going to be better job prospects potentially with business. So I left Greggs, I left sixth form with A-levels and went towards Sheffield University. And my parents are pretty happy with that, because they actually thought I'd be in Greggs for the rest of my life. So I went to study finance at Sheffield University, not really knowing what I wanted to do as a career. So I spent 4 years at university, and I still came out saying to myself, what do I want to do? Do I want to move back to London, work in the big city? My dad kept saying, come work in the city centre, be a big business gal. Or should I have a change of career? Do I actually have an interest in finance? I was actually quite conflicted, because there's a lot of big corporate companies out there like HSBC and Barclays, and if I were to work at one of those industries, I'd feel like I'd be a bit of an ant, and you don't know what they get up to. So I was quite conflicted from from that approach. But after coming out of uni and spending a job here and there, not actually knowing what I want to do, I found a role in OpenMoney, and I actually started off as in a similar role to Caius 3 years ago when we first launched. And I was actually really proud that I managed to find an industry in the finance industry that's dedicated to actually helping customers and supporting customers with their money. So I wanted to touch upon a bit of my past to sort of give you guys, take away something from this presentation. So for me, these are things that I wish that I'd knew when I was going through high school and college and university. So whilst I was at Greg's, I actually gained really a lot of interpersonal skills. So I was actually never this confident. I mean, I'm so surprised I'm actually managed to do this presentation right now, but I was a very quiet student at school. But when I started going into a job, I had the exposure to talking to customers. I had a lot of middle-aged colleagues around me who'd be talking. So that really got me to a confidence level that I'm at the moment. So I feel like everyone's going to get there. So why not aim to get there sooner rather than later? So confidence is key. My second point is like, just like me, you don't have to have a career in mind from high school or college or university. It's sometimes people anticipate that, you need to know exactly where you want to be in your career. But just because you enter one career, it won't pigeonhole you for the rest of your life. I know a lot of individuals who've had several different careers throughout their life. So just because you're stuck in one career, there's always change that's possible. So, but for now, do the hard work and get those qualifications in, because you won't regret it later in life. And I've just obviously got to touch upon saving, because we're a saving and investment company. Think about saving now whilst you're young, because becoming an adult and having to pay your own bills, that's inevitable. That's just part of life. So set a goal to start to become financially independent. Rear away from getting support from your parents and other dependents. Just try and aim for financial independence, because that's quite fulfilling once you get there. And just to finally mention, I know I'm quite conscious that on the description of this presentation that we did mention software development. So for those who have joined because of software development and interest in that, I just wanted to let you guys know that we have so many different departments here at our company. We've got marketing, we've got development, testers, project managers, human resources, and even compliance for those who actually want to go into compliance, but that's unlikely. But just drop me an email if you're interested in any of these subjects or would like to gain a bit more knowledge on that and exposure, and I'll be able to arrange an appointment between yourselves and someone from the team, and they'll give a sort of similar presentation to what I've done today, and give you a bit of an insight into that specific industry. I think we ended fairly soon. I hope that's okay, but thank you for listening. Has anyone got any questions?
Thank you so much to the both of you. That was really, really insightful, and it was really nice to hear as well the two different kind of pathways almost that you've taken in order to get to where you are now, which is really, really fantastic. So let me just pop myself on the screen. So there's a few questions that are coming through. One of a really quick one, which would be really nice just to kind of clear up, is, Hannah, what is an Icer?
What is an Icer? Okay, so an Icer stands for an individual savings account. So when our customers tend to be looking towards saving, the first point of call tends to be an Icer. And why that is because Icer is a specific product wrapper which you could keep your money in. And what it means is any gains that you achieve from that wrapper, be it from interest or in the financial market, it's free from capital gains tax and it's free from income tax. So it's essentially just a tax efficient way of saving. Every tax year, everyone's got a £20,000 Icer allowance. So there's several different Icers. You've got your lifetime Icers, help to buy Icers, cash Icers, investment Icers. And you could split across all those Icers, but as long as you stay within that £20,000 allowance. Some customers utilise it every tax year, Some customers don't. It's really entirely up to you.
Thank you so much. And there's a couple of questions that are relatively similar in what they're saying, so maybe we can kind of put this into one thing. But I'm sure you've kind of touched on this as well a little bit, so hopefully this question's already been sort of answered. But if we can go into a little bit more detail, it's people are asking what kind of qualifications you need to go into finance. So really, what in terms of open money, what are the different pathways that you can take? So obviously we've heard that Hannah's done a degree. Caius has done an apprenticeship. So Caius, I wonder if I could ask you, can you give some different kind of pathways that people can get into the finance sector?
Yeah, sure. So for me, I just had GCSE qualifications. I did also have a bit of a basic level in financial education, but I don't think that was entirely necessary coming into the apprenticeship that I did. I came into the business as a business administration, and I had as long as you have basic, you pass maths and you pass English, which is kind of just the basis for most qualifications you go on to do. You can just apply for a lot of apprenticeships and get some interviews, see how that goes. I don't think you're apprenticeship level. A lot of it's just entry level, so you don't require a lot of the you don't need specific qualifications, I don't believe. Just with an apprenticeship, obviously you're there to gain that knowledge and that experience, that qualification, that sort of thing. I don't know if Hannah wants to talk about maybe like a graduate level.
Yeah, I mean for me, I think it doesn't matter. It doesn't even actually really matter what degree you get, because I have friends who did economics degrees, but they've ended up in construction and quantity surveying. I've got friends who've done economics and they also ended up in marketing. So as I mentioned earlier, don't let it pigeonhole you. But I didn't hire Caius, but I've hired some apprentices since. And what I look out for on the CVs are that people have like a genuine interest in finance. And good GCSE levels, basic English and maths, because we communicate with customers on a daily basis. You have to have that good level of English there. What else I tend to look out for is that it's a well-written CV, a genuine interest in the job. Sometimes I gather that it might just be someone just looking for an alternative to college, or they just want to earn a quick buck. They're not actually genuinely interested. So between someone who's mentioned that they've had a lifelong interest in finance, they watch movies on it and all that, compared to someone who's not touched upon finance and doesn't really have any experience in it, then I'd usually go for person A.
Thank you, Hannah. I'm going to keep you up as well for the next question. Again, a couple of the questions very similar, asking what would you say is the best way to save, and how much money would you need to start saving?
So the best way to save for me is to basically make yourself look poor. So when you've got that money coming in, and you look at your bank account, you're like, wow, I've actually got quite a decent amount. I'll spend it on a pair of shoes. Put that amount into a savings account that you preferably can't have access to, or don't constantly look at. So shift that money to that account, and then when you look at your bank account, you're like, wow, I'm actually not doing too great. I won't buy that 50th pair of shoes. So that's my sort of approach to saving. In terms of when's a good time to save and what amount you need to save, it really comes down to any amount that you've got left over following any phone bills, shopping, or your usual direct debits that you need to pay off. If you've got money remaining at the end of the month, then shift that to a savings account.
Fabulous advice. Thank you, Hannah. A really good question. What are the biggest money mistakes that you see people making when you are doing your job? I'm not sure who wants to take that one.
Okay, what about customers withdrawing from Icers?
Yeah, I think we probably have a lot of customers, withdrawing from an Icer wrapper into possibly like a regular savings account. and you know they kind of lose out on those tax benefits that the Icer has. I think that's maybe not sort of the so some people might sort of make those kind of mistakes, just not understanding the benefits of the Icer, and that regular savings account you could be subject to income tax, capital gains tax, that sort of thing. Other things, just kind of getting into unsecured debt is it's not something you really want to do. If you do get into debt, you might want to pay it off as soon as possible. Is the interest, it just kind of adds up, and that's how the banks get you. Just all the interest. So it is important, if you do sort of find yourself into debt, try to get out of that as soon as possible. Just because the longer you leave it, the more it will add up. That sort of thing.
And Caius, I'm just going to stay with you. People very interested in Icers. So how can an Icer help someone in the future? So if someone was to start an Icer now, how will it help them? How will it benefit them in the future?
Yeah, so just as with any savings account, just build up that savings pot. The disposable income you have, just put that in. And over the years, once it comes to take it out, you'll find yourself with a decent savings pot. So with any savings goals you have, like maybe saving for to purchase a deposit on a house, or saving for a big holiday, I don't know. When it comes to you've reached that sort of savings goal, you can take that out and be free of tax.
Yeah, but with Icers as well, there are several different types of Icers. So if you're looking towards saving towards your first home, then there's something called the lifetime Icer. And it's actually a product I used to purchase my first home last year. And essentially, with every contribution you put in, the government will top up 25%, up to a maximum of 4,000. So if you put 4,000 in, they'll top up 1,000, and that comes to a maximum of 5,000. But you've got to be really careful for those plans, because if you do want to access the money, then there is a penalty. So you just have to be certain that you want to put it towards your first home. In terms of money mistakes, I have seen a lot of customers spending, like investing, and then after like 2 or 3 months, the money's gone down, and they're like, oh, can I withdraw it? And we're like, no, investing is all about saving for the medium to long term. These fluctuations are perfectly normal. If you withdraw at a time where the markets are down, then you're potentially missing out from the recovery period that it will go through. Also, I tend to see a lot of, especially young people, spending a lot of money on like luxuries, food, clothes, and all that. For me, I like spending my money on memories, essentially, like experiences with my family and my friends, just sort of making those memories. I find those more valuable than sort of material things.
Thanks, Hannah. And I'm going to stick with you again. Quite a tricky question, actually, but I think a really important one. So let me just find it again, just one sec. There's loads. I'm just kind of trying to scroll through. So you mentioned about your kind of career journey, that you kind of went on the dentist work experience, and prior to that, you didn't really have an idea about what you wanted to do, but from that kind of like sparked something. But then obviously you ended up changing. In terms of decision making, was it a really difficult decision after you kind of choosing your college courses to reflect what you wanted to do in dentistry? Would you do anything differently into school, or would you kind of take that as an experience?
It wasn't very difficult for me, because my heart wasn't set on it that much. I'm a very sort of go with the flow, whatever happens, happens. But making that decision at college, it wasn't difficult for me. I was like, there's plenty more opportunities out there. I wish I did maybe try a bit harder at college to actually buckle down and get that work done, because it was difficult. But just putting in, there's 24 months of work, it could really help in the long term. You could actually go ahead and, to be honest, for me, university was actually not as difficult compared to A-level. So once you get through those 24 months of hard graft, then it will be worthwhile in the long term.
Fantastic. And Caius, I think I'm going to ask you this one again. Another quite tricky one, really, is that if you have no kind of desire at the minute in terms of subjects, and you've got no goals, what would be your advice to young people? So if you're in school at the minute and you're not entirely set on a particular subject, and you've not really got a goal in terms of what you want to do after school, what would you kind of recommend a young person to do in order to kind of figure out what it is that they're interested in?
That is quite a tricky question.
Do what you enjoy.
Yeah, that's a good one. You know, if you find yourself sort of enjoying certain subjects in sort of high school, you may want to go into college to sort of further just, you know, expand on those topics, or go into something that correlates with those. And, you know, it can kind of just help to build up your qualifications as you continue to, you know, formulate an idea in your mind and sort of come up with that that goal in mind. With the apprenticeship route, obviously, if you're not sort of sure, you can, at a young age, I see you have quite a lot of time to come up with that decision. So you can actually, you know, apply for lots of different ones. And, you know, if you find yourself on one that it might not be for you, you can sort of switch apprenticeship and do a different one. Just sort of find out what you know, what resonates with you. But, you know, if you're unsure, I probably would advise maybe going to college, you know, really expanding on those subjects that you enjoy, and then, you know, something might just come up that you know, maybe like a job or career that you might never have heard of, might just come up and click and really resonate with you, that you can, you know, sort of go on and try to do that.
I agree with that, Caius. I think sometimes, like, you don't realize actually what you want to do until you're actually in a role yourself, and then you actually start seeing what sort of opportunities are out there. Because when I was at picking A levels and picking university qualifications, for me it was just core subjects. It was like finance, maths, English and that, but there's actually so many different roles out there. So definitely do your research and start with working out exactly what you enjoy at school, and then work out what different paths you can go from there.
Yeah, great advice from both as well. And just to kind of add on to this, you will have a careers advisor in your school and college, so do speak to those people as well, because they have a really fantastic knowledge of, you know, how subjects or skills that you're using in subject relate to a specific career. So it might be, you know, that you're actually interested in particular things that you didn't realise was related to a particular subject and the skills that you pick up. So go and speak to your careers advisor, book an appointment, and just have a really good chat about what it is that you are interested in, what it is that you like doing, even in your spare time and things like that, and they will be able to offer some guidance as well as to how you can make those interests into something where that is, you know, a job at the end of it, where you've got a kind of a career path. We've got absolutely loads of questions. I'm going to just do a couple more, and then if there's any other specific ones, what I might do, if possible, is just send an email to Hannah and Caius and ask them just to do a bit of an answer for them, and I'll send them over to everyone that's on the session today. Let me have a quick look through. Done that one. Let's have this is a lovely one to finish on, so let's finish on this. Let's start with Hannah first. Do you enjoy what you do, and what is it that you like the most about your job?
Oh, that's difficult. It's a good thing my manager's not on this. I'm joking. No, I do love my job. I love the fact that I found an industry that's helping customers, and we're not all about making money. I mean, I have financial advice meetings with customers, and I put like no pressure on them at all to proceed with our service. I don't work on commission, so that means if the customer proceeds, I don't get any extra money. I'm just paid a wage. So the interest of our customers really are at our heart. So we're not money motivated or anything like that. I also love how, you know, we're also offering mortgages and work-life benefits. We've also got a very close-knit team here at OpenMoney. We all get on really well. We communicate. We have regular socials, and then sometimes I was in like a few office jobs previous to this, and it did felt a bit of like a dead end. There wasn't much progression. And where I am at now, I started off in a similar position to Caius, and I was a trainee financial advisor. It's now coming up to 4 years. I've become a qualified financial advisor. I'm talking to customers every day. I love speaking to customers, actually. I get a good satisfaction out of like chatting to them and pleasing them. We call it smoothing them over, because we always love a good smooth. And yeah, I mean, it's what I really enjoy. I really enjoy doing it right now. For me, the only difficulty is the tech side, because there's a lot of, you know, because we're an online business, there's got to be a few bugs, there's going to be a few you know, blank screens every now and then, but we just got to persevere through that.
Thank you so much. And Caius, can you say what it is that you enjoy most about your role at the minute?
Yeah, so unfortunately my manager is on this call. But no, I do really enjoy my role. You know, it's quite fulfilling, you know, just helping the customer, you know, just helping them have, you know, the best experience that they can have. You know, I'm not an advisor at the moment, but you know, I do give some guidance on what we already have set with the advice routes. You know, customers that may not be ready for advising, I'll let them know why, you know, kind of why that is, what they can do to sort of, you know, build up savings and, you know, get to that stage. But it is fulfilling, you know, just helping customers with any queries they might have, any unsureties, you know, just helping console them. And yeah, it's nice to have all that good feedback. And you know, sort of what I will be going on to do, sort of mortgage advice. Again, it's just kind of helping people, you know, purchase maybe their first home, or, you know, make those hard decisions in life. It's nice to be able to, you know, be there for you know, a good number of people.
That's fab, thank you. And I'm going to have one more question to you both. So Caius, we'll start with you. So what piece of advice would you give to a young person if they are wanting to get into the kind of the finance sector?
I would say, obviously, depending on which route you take, whether that be the apprenticeship route or you know, the sort of college route and university, just expand your financial knowledge, get those qualifications that can help you, that you can really, you know, apply to the finance industry, whether that be, you know, sort of further math ones, like, I don't know, maybe statistics, if you want to get into sort of accounting, all that sort of thing. Or with the apprenticeship route, try to get into, you know, finance ones, or get in with the company that's in the finance sector. Like I did, I got into the business administration apprenticeship at the beginning, and now I'm going on to do financial advice. So yeah, just kind of expand knowledge on financial advice, and, you know, try obviously apply for a position with a financial business within the financial industry.
Thanks, Caius. And the same question to you, Hannah. What advice would you give young people if they're looking at getting into the sector?
So first thing, you want to work out exactly what part of the finance sector you want to be in, because there's so many different areas that you can work in. You could be in investments, you could be in advice, you could be in financial analysts. So narrow down exactly where you want to be. I mean, I still didn't know where I wanted to be coming out of uni. So, I mean, it's not expected that you have to have the specific subject for that specific career. But what I like to see is that individuals use their spare time to, you know, delve into investments and finance. You know, they can also use their spare time. Also, whilst you're young and you're under 16, you also get access to free education. So what I actually did at college is, because I knew I wanted to go in the finance industry then, once I retook my year, there was like evening courses at my another college, and I was doing accounting, an accounting qualification there. So if I was to do that, I think it's under 19 actually, but if I did that qualification as an adult, it would be costing me thousands. So I was taking advantage of the fact that it was free at the time, and I was using my spare time to go and gain those qualifications. So reading that on a CV that someone's actually been using their spare time to gain these qualifications, that's very valuable to me. And you also don't have to be a whiz at maths, but we'd expect to see, you know, basic, at least a C in GCSE, a C in maths, if we were looking to take someone on.
Fabulous, thank you. And we're going to leave it there with the questions. Like I said, there's loads more that I'll try and send an email over to Hannah and Caius and get answered. There's some kind of quite specific ones as well, so hopefully we can get those answered for you. Thank you so much to everyone that's been on the call this morning, and also to our fab presenters Hannah and Caius. It's been really nice hearing particularly two different people that took two different routes to get into a very kind of into the finance sector, and just to show really, especially, you know, with the apprenticeships, is that it doesn't have to be a college and degree route to get into something like finance, is that there are other options open. So thank you so much for sharing your journeys and a little bit of information about OpenMoney. It's been really interesting. So there is a session card that goes with these. You should have received it. This session will be going onto YouTube very shortly, and it will have the session card in the description box. So if you're not sure where the session card is, you'll be able to find it there, but there is a little task to do afterwards. So particularly if you are interested in getting into the finance sector, definitely have a look at that task. It'll help you have a look at the kind of things that you would be doing if you was in Hannah or Caius's role. So definitely have a look. Thank you so much to everyone for coming today, and I hope you've enjoyed the session and hope you enjoy the rest of National Careers Week. Thank you, guys.
You're welcome. Thanks for having us.
Very well.